Hi, I'm Miss Gunter, and today we're working on Unit 3, Lesson 3, and this is a must-do lesson. The aim of today's lesson is what is the best way to represent a linear function, and the objective is I can represent a given linear situation as a linear equation, graph, and table. Overview. So we have worked on functions in Unit 2, and as a reminder, a function can be represented in different ways, including as an equation, a table, and a graph. And for today's lesson, we're going to look at different linear situations, and we're going to represent them in these ways, as an equation, a table, and a graph. Let's look at an example. The question says, John earns $12 an hour working at the library. Using H for hours and E for earnings, write a linear equation to represent the amount of money John earns from working at the library. So they want us to write a linear equation to show his earnings, and they want us to use the variables E for earnings and H for hours. So the amount of money that he earns, which would be represented by E, is going to be based on how long he works, how many hours he works, and how much money he's paid every hour. And here they told us that he's paid $12 each hour. Now, we don't know how many hours he works, but that's okay. We have enough information here. For every hour that he works, he's going to get $12. So his earnings is going to be 12 times the amount of hours that he works, and they said to use H for hours. So that's the linear equation that we come up with. E equals 12 times H. Part B of the question says, use the linear equation to complete a table of values to find how much money John earns when he works 1, 2, and 3 hours. And remember, the equation we just came up with was E equals 12H. So now we're going to use a table of values to find out how much money he gets, which is the earnings, based on the hours that he works. And they want to know how much money he'll get if he works 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. And the equation is E equals 12H. So if he works 1 hour, he's going to get 12 times 1, which is $12. So this is 12, and this is earnings. I'm just going to put in dollars. If he works 2 hours, he's going to get 12 times 2, which is $24. And if he works 3 hours, same equation, but H is now 3, so 12 times 3, which is $36. So here we took the equation and we were able to come up with a table of H and E values, which are similar to our X and Y values. Okay, part C of the question says, graph the information in the table. So the table once again had H for hours, E for earnings, and 1, 2, and 3, and E was 12 times H. So when he worked 1 hour, he made $12, earned $12. When he worked 2 hours, he earned $24. And when he worked 3 hours, he earned $36. Okay, so we're now going to graph this. I only need the first quadrant since everything is positive. So I'm just going to show that. So hours would be on the x-axis, and the y-axis would show the earnings. So I'm going to label it. And since the earnings go up to 36, I'm going to change my scale on the y-axis so I can show the information that I have, and I'm going to count in fives on the y-axis. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so I'm counting by fives. Of course, you would do this on graph paper if you have it, because you get much more accurate demarcations. Okay, when he works 1 hour, he makes $12. That's approximately here. When he works 2 hours, he makes $24. So I start at the origin, go across to 2, go up to 24, which is approximately here. And when he works 3 hours, he makes $36. So 3 on the 8, which is equivalent to the x-axis, and then go up to the y-axis, which is E in this case, and it's 36, so it's approximately here. Now, when you do this, you'd use this. Looking at this, I can tell it's going to be a line. Plus, if it's a linear equation, linear equations or linear functions, when you graph them, you get a line. So I would use a straight edge, and I would connect these points. And that's my line. So just summarizing what we did, we got a particular situation and we had to represent it as an equation, a table, and a graph. So we will get more practice with today's work, working on what we just did.